In 13 minutes, the world would celebrate a new decade. But in a military hospital 8,000 miles from home, a nurse was making a choice that would echo for 50 years. Her name was Sarah Mitchell, 26 years old. Her flight was already waiting. Her name was on the manifest. Her family was waiting at LAX. She hadn't seen them in 18 months. And on the operating table in front of her, a 19-year-old soldier named Michael, barely breathing. Photo in his pocket showing a family around a Christmas tree. Sarah had 13 minutes to make her flight. Michael had maybe 30 minutes to live. What would you do if saving a stranger meant losing everything you'd been waiting for? My name is James Whitman, and this is the story of the nurse who missed New Year's to save a family. Not just one family. 47 people. 3 generations. All because on December 31st, 1969, Sarah Mitchell chose to stay. But here's what Sarah didn't know. 50 years later, those 47 people would find her, and the video of that moment would change everything. Let me take you back. Vietnam, 1969. The war had been raging for years. Body counts on the evening news, protests at home, boys dying in rice paddies while America argued about whether they should be there. Sarah had volunteered. Army nurse, trauma unit, Tan Son Nhut Air Base. She'd seen things no 26-year-old should see. Boys her age bleeding out, calling for their mothers, dying alone thousands of miles from home. She'd signed up for 18 months. December 31st, 1969 was her last day. She'd already said her goodbyes, packed her bags. The plane was scheduled for 12:15 a.m., January 1st, 1970. She'd ring in the new decade somewhere over the Pacific, be home by New Year's Day. Her mother had promised a roast. Her father wanted to hear stories. Her little sister, now 17, had saved every letter Sarah sent. Sarah could taste home, could smell it. 18 months of blood and death and screaming, and finally, she was going home. Then, at 11:47 p.m., the helicopters came. 8 soldiers. Helicopter crash. 40 miles north. They'd been flying night patrol. Engine failure. Crashed into the jungle. Only reason they survived? They crashed into trees instead of hitting the ground straight on. But trees don't stop physics. Metal crumpled. Bodies broken. The medics brought them in fast. Triage. Red tags, critical. Yellow tags, serious. Green tags, walking wounded. 7 yellow and green tags. Boys who'd live. Broken bones, burns, but survivable. 1 red tag. Michael Chen, 19 years old, San Francisco. Internal bleeding, collapsed lung, maybe 30 minutes if they were lucky. Sarah watched the surgeon assess him, watched him shake his head. We'll make him comfortable, but he's not going to make it. Too much damage. Sarah looked at the clock. 11:51 p.m. Her transport left at midnight. 24 minutes to the airfield. She had to leave now. She started to turn, started to walk toward the door, started to go home. Then she saw it. On the floor, fallen from Michael's pocket during transport. A photograph. Creased, stained with blood, but clear enough. Michael, younger, maybe 16, standing with his family. Mother, father, little sister, maybe 8 years old. Behind them, a Christmas tree. Ornaments catching the light. Presents underneath. Michael wearing a Santa hat, grinning. Written on the back in a woman's handwriting, Christmas 1966, our last one together before you leave. Come home safe, my beautiful boy. Love, Mom. Sarah picked up the photograph, looked at Michael on the table, looked at the clock. 11:53 p.m. She looked at the photograph again, at the mother's face, at the little sister's smile, and she made a choice that would change 47 lives. Have you ever held someone else's family in your hands? Sarah walked to the phone, called the transport office. "This is Lieutenant Mitchell. I'm not going to make the flight." Silence on the other end. "Lieutenant, that's the last transport out tonight. Next one isn't until January 3rd. "I understand." "You've been here 18 months. You sure about this?" Sarah looked at Michael, at the photograph in her hand. "I'm sure." She hung up, turned to the surgeon. "I'm staying. Let me scrub in." The surgeon looked at her. "Sarah, he's not going to make it." "Then I'll be there when he doesn't. No one dies alone. Not on New Year's Eve." The surgeon saw something in her eyes, nodded. "Okay, let's try." They operated for 14 hours, into the new decade, into January 1st, 1970. While the world celebrated, Sarah and a team of doctors and nurses fought for one 19-year-old kid who was supposed to die. They found the bleeds, stopped them, reinflated the lung, stitched, sutured, prayed. At 2 p.m. on January 1st, Michael's vitals stabilized. At 3 p.m., he opened his eyes. At 3:15 p.m., Sarah called home. Her mother answered. "Sarah? Sarah, where are you? We've been waiting at the airport for—" "Mom, I missed the plane." Silence. Then, "What happened? Are you okay?" Sarah started crying. First time she'd cried in 18 months. "I'm okay, but there was a boy, 19. He was dying, and I couldn't leave him." Her mother was crying too. "Oh, baby. I'm so sorry, Mom. I wanted to come home. I wanted to see you so badly. But his mother, she needs him to come home too." Sarah's mother took a breath. "Sarah Elizabeth Mitchell, you listen to me. You did the right thing. You hear me? You did the right thing." "But I wanted to be home. I know, baby, and we wanted you home. But that boy's mother wanted her son alive. You gave her that. You gave her everything." "I love you, Mom." "I love you too. Now you go save some more boys, and you come home when you can. We'll be here. We'll always be here." Sarah hung up, walked back to the recovery room, sat next to Michael's bed. He was sleeping. The photograph was tucked under his pillow. Outside, Vietnam was still at war, but in that room, for that moment, one boy was safe. One mother wouldn't get a folded flag. Sometimes being a hero means missing everything you've been waiting for. Sarah stayed in Vietnam 3 more months, extended her tour, saved 17 more lives, lost 12 she couldn't save. Each one broke her a little more. Michael recovered, slowly. Took 6 weeks before he could walk, 8 weeks before he could talk without pain. When he finally could speak, Sarah was there. "You're the nurse," he said, voice rough. "I'm Sarah. They told me you missed your flight home because of me." Sarah nodded. "Why?" Sarah pulled out the photograph, the one from his pocket, placed it on his chest. "Because your mom asked you to come home safe, and I wanted to make sure you could." Michael looked at the photo, started crying. "I don't even remember this picture. Don't remember carrying it." "You carried it through a helicopter crash, through surgery, through dying. You held on to it because it mattered. Thank you, Michael whispered. I don't know how to thank you. You already did. You lived. That's all I needed. In March 1970, Michael was medically evacuated back to the States. Sarah helped load him onto the plane. He held her hand. I'm going to remember you, he said. Forever. I promise. Just remember your family, Sarah said. That's enough. Sarah finally came home in April 1970, 6 months late. Her family was at the airport. Her mother ran to her, held her, wouldn't let go. You saved him? Her mother asked. We saved him. Good. That's my girl. Sarah went back to nursing, worked at San Francisco General Trauma Unit for 40 years, saved hundreds of lives. Lost count after a while. It was just what she did. She never heard from Michael again. Didn't expect to. That's how war works. You save someone, they go home. You move on. She thought about him sometimes, wondered if he made it, if his mother got her son back, if the little sister grew up with her brother. But she never knew until December 25th, 2019, 50 years after that New Year's Eve. Sarah was 76, retired, living in a small house in Oakland, alone. Her mother had passed, her father too. Her sister lived across the country. Christmas morning, Sarah was making coffee. The doorbell rang. She opened it. A man stood there, late 60s, Asian, kind eyes. Can I help you? Sarah asked. The man smiled, nervous. Are you Sarah Mitchell? Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell? Vietnam, 1969? Sarah's heart skipped. Yes. Who are you? My name is Michael Chen. You saved my life on New Year's Eve, 1969. Sarah's coffee cup fell, shattered on the floor. Michael was crying. I promised I'd remember you. It took me 50 years to find you, but I promised. Sarah couldn't speak, could barely breathe. There's more, Michael said. I didn't come alone. He gestured to the street. Sarah looked. A crowd. 47 people standing on her lawn. 3 generations. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Michael's mother, 94, in a wheelchair in the front. This is my family, Michael said. All of them. They exist because you missed your flight. Because you stayed. We wanted you to know. We wanted to say, thank you. Sarah's knees gave out. Michael caught her, held her up. Every New Year's Eve, Michael said, we raise a glass to you. Every Christmas, we remember. You're part of our family. You always have been. Michael's mother wheeled forward, took Sarah's hand. You gave me my son. You gave me 50 years with him. You gave me this family. How do I thank you for that? Sarah was sobbing. You just did. You just did. What would it feel like to meet the family you didn't know you'd saved? They spent the day together, all 47 of them, in Sarah's small house, overflowing, loud, chaotic, full. They told stories. Michael's children talked about their father, how he'd wake up sometimes from nightmares, and Sarah's name was what calmed him down. How he'd told them about the nurse who stayed, who gave up going home so he could go home. Michael's grandchildren showed Sarah drawings. "This is you. Grandpa says you're a hero." Sarah cried, "I'm not a hero. I was just a nurse doing my job." "No," Michael said. "You were a nurse who had a choice. And you chose us. That makes you family." Michael's daughter, Emma, 35, was filming everything on her phone. "Do you mind?" she asked Sarah. "I want to remember this. Want to share this." Sarah wiped her eyes. "Share it with who?" "Everyone," Emma said. "The world needs to know about people like you." Emma posted the video on YouTube that night, December 25th, 2019. Christmas night. Title: "The Nurse Who Missed New Year's to Save My Grandfather. 50 years later, we found her." In the video, Sarah meeting Michael, the family singing to her, Michael's mother holding Sarah's hands, 47 people thanking one woman. The video went viral in 3 days. 10 million views by New Year's Eve, 50 million by January 3rd. By February, 230 million views. The comments exploded. "I'm a nurse. I stayed late on Christmas to save a patient. Seeing this reminds me why." 847K likes. "My mother was a Vietnam nurse. She died before I could thank her. This made me feel like I finally did." 623K likes. "I was that patient once. Some nurse I'll never find saved me. Thank you, whoever you are." 1.2 million likes. News outlets picked it up. The viral video that's making everyone cry. Sarah was interviewed by Today Show, CNN, BBC, but she kept saying the same thing. "I'm not special. Thousands of nurses did this. Millions of healthcare workers do this every day. I just want people to know. We do it because we care. That's all." But Michael said it differently. She saved one person. That person became a family. That family became 47 people. That's not just saving a life. That's creating a future. The video sparked something. A movement. Hashtag thank a nurse. Hashtag saved my family. People started finding the nurses who'd saved them, the doctors, the paramedics, the anonymous healthcare workers who'd stayed late, who'd fought, who'd cared. One woman found the ER nurse who'd saved her from suicide 20 years ago, posted the reunion. 40 million views. A firefighter found the paramedic who'd pulled him from a burning building 30 years later. They cried on camera. 67 million views. Healthcare workers started sharing their own stories, the patients they couldn't save, the ones they did, the choices they made, the flights they missed, the holidays they worked, the families they left to save other families. COVID-19 hit 3 months later, March 2020, and suddenly, the world understood. Nurses missing their families to save ours, doctors working 20-hour shifts, healthcare workers dying to keep strangers alive. Sarah's video was shared again and again. Remember this. Remember why they do it. Sarah lived through the pandemic, watched nurses her age come out of retirement to help, watched them die for strangers. And she cried because she understood, because she'd done it too. In December 2021, Sarah passed away, 78 years old, peaceful, in her sleep. But her funeral? 200 people, Michael's entire family, and nurses, hundreds of nurses from all over the country, wearing their scrubs, holding signs. She taught us why we serve. Michael spoke at her funeral. Sarah Mitchell saved one life on New Year's Eve 1969. But the ripple never stopped. I saved lives. My children are doctors and teachers. My grandchildren will save lives. Sarah didn't just save me. She saved everyone I ever helped. Everyone my kids ever helped. The ripple goes on forever. There's a memorial now at the Vietnam War Memorial in D.C. A plaque for the nurses who served, who stayed, who sacrificed. Sarah's name is there, with thousands of others. And every New Year's Eve, Michael's family, now 52 people, 5 generations, raises a glass to Sarah, to the choice she made, to the family she saved without knowing. So let me ask you, who saved you? Who stayed when they could have left? Who fought for you when you couldn't fight for yourself? Find them. Thank them. Tell their story. Because Sarah taught us, one choice can change everything. One night can save a family. One person can create a future. She missed New Year's 1969 to save Michael. 52 people exist because she stayed. How many people exist because someone stayed for you? Share their name below. Let's make sure no hero goes unthanked. What if the person who saved you is reading this right now? Tell them. Today, before it's 50 years too late. Sarah missed one night with her family to give Michael 50 years with his. That's not sacrifice. That's love. And love, as Sarah proved, always multiplies.